We're almost live.
Great.
One second. It loads a little bit. Done.
Okay.
Redirecting to the Facebook Live page, and then I have to do a last thing, which says I get a notification that says, got it, this meeting is being live streamed, and then it's live. So we are live. So brilliant. Very nice to meet you, Raffaello. For those who aren't aware, Raffaello is a long-term poster and contributor to the group. You've been one of the very early consistent posters in the group, by the way, contributors, sharing value. You know, you share almost every day, you share something valuable. So anybody who looks at the featured tab will see that, because I do pin them as featured. So it's brilliant. But yeah, you've been around since before the group took off, when the group was still small. You remember that, Brian?
Yes, absolutely. And it's a pleasure seeing it growing and being a part of it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the group has certainly blossomed and matured into something substantial. And, you know, you've been a part of that. So I've been very keen for the longest time to, okay, let me just answer Gary here. Okay, Gary's asking, how does he tune in? You just have to tune in. I'll just refresh the page. Okay. All right. So this is most exciting. So Raffaello, what I am most keen to ask you, I want to know what matters to Raffaello.
Oh,
yes.
Very good question.
What is meaningful and purposeful and significant, or provides purpose and significant. In other words, MPS, right? Meaning, purpose, and significance, which add magic per second. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So
this is a very big deal. It's a very big deal. Again, like I say, I want to know what really matters to Raffaello. I couldn't care where you come from, what you've done, where you lived, what your favorite movies are, and your colors are. Those things don't matter to me. What matters is what matters to you. That's what I'm interested in. Yes?
Yes. So what is meaningful for me? The most important thing I would say is helping people, because I learned it by, at the beginning, not finding anyone helping me. So I had to find a way to help myself first. And then I grew up taking into account that everyone has a story, everyone has a path, everyone has a journey. And so what I thought was that when I was able enough to be aware of who I am, of what I need, of why I do things the way I do them, then I also started thinking that probably other people are not so lucky in having found those things. So I decided that what I would need to do, so my purpose, my goal, was to providing help to those people, because in helping others, I also help myself.
Can you repeat that, please? Exactly what you just said.
Well, I say that for me, it was meaningful to help others, because when as I have been lucky in finding who I am, what I want, and why I do things the way I do, when I became aware of that, I also understood that many people were not so lucky in finding those things and in becoming aware of those things. So my purpose in life was to help them and to provide them with those answers that they have inside them. And, helping others means helping myself.
That's what I wanted you to repeat. Bina repeated it in comments there. You said, okay, by helping others, I help myself. That's what I wanted the emphasis on.
Okay.
Yes, by helping others, I help myself.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned something there. You mentioned one word, lucky. Yeah, you said I've been lucky. So you see yourself as lucky in what sense exactly? Can you explain a bit more on that?
Well, to me, lucky, it's not what's like winning something when you get into a, I don't know, a raffle or something. To me, lucky is to be able to be aware that we are the architects of our own success, of our own happiness. So I am lucky because there are.
Say that exactly again, please. We are the what?
We are the architects of our own happiness, of our own life and success.
That's a profound statement. We are the architects of our own happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Big deal. Anyway, yeah.
Yes, I do really believe that, because at the beginning, of course, when I started meditation when I was 13, and I thought at the time that happiness was into meditation. So I thought that I would have found into meditation, into practicing something, that I would become happy. Then I understood after quite a while, it took some years, but then I became aware that everything I need is inside me. So inside, I was looking for things that were outside me, so models for living or ideas, but everything I needed to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be conscious, were yet inside me. So I didn't need to make an outward journey. I need to make an inward journey.
Yes. Now, tell us about that inward journey, please.
Yes, I grew up in a family that was Catholic, really deeply Catholic. And I grew up with my parents. They did whatever they thought it was good for me, of course, but they taught me read and write really early. So at 3 years old, I was able to read and write. And then I went to school 2 years earlier. And then I was bullied for all of my school years.
Yes. I mean, you get an advantage and a disadvantage altogether, And
yeah. So what happened, it was that, of course, I also had the same issues that I have now. I'm a really allergic person. So I was the tiny one of the groups, and that didn't help at the time. So at a certain time, I started becoming really angry with everyone because I was resentful. So I grew up in my early teen age as a highly resentful, and I don't want to say that I had troubles, because anyway, I was living in a good family or whatever, but of course inside me there was trouble. Then I started practicing martial arts, and I did somewhat really wrong, because I started defending myself and over defending myself. So
and over defending yourself, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Over defending myself.
I understand exactly. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes. So when I was called into fights or whatever, I overdid quite a lot of time.
Yes.
And one day, Claudio, that is my karate teacher, gave me a lesson in life. So he told me, okay, try to beat me.
Wow.
And when he gave me a lesson, a really good one, then he told me, you see, there is always someone stronger than you, smarter than you, and better, more than you are. So don't rely on strength, rely on your inner strength. You need to build up your inner strength, not your outer strength.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yes, 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 yes.
And from that moment on, I grew up helping others, because I understood that as I got all of a sudden all the help that I needed, because I understood on my skin, on my bones, on my flesh, that I was simply trying to follow other people ideas, other people models, other people needs. I was not happy. So I started to grow up. I became Buddhist, and I started thinking that I'm like a water drop. So I saw myself like a water drop. A water drop exists, of course, but when you take it out of the ocean, it dries up. So to me, the idea was I didn't want to dry up. I wanted to feel my energy in being unique, in being equal to everyone else. So I was not special. I was not the smart guy. I was just another person on this world trying to live up. And so the lesson that I learned is that I should become responsible for what I do, because every action brings a reaction, and I'm responsible for what I do. And that was my lesson. So I think that we are all different in being all equal.
Say that again, please.
We are all different in being all equal.
Exactly, exactly. And the idea is to celebrate difference. Yes, not just acknowledge it or even appreciate it, but to celebrate it. Yes.
Absolutely.
The moment you shift from acknowledging difference, which is like, wow, to celebrating it, it becomes magical, becomes awesome. We learn from it, we connect. It expands our world, and difference becomes something really, really awesome. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. The thing is that when you think that you need to fit into a model that is not yours, what you actually do is secluding yourself from your own life. Because you're putting yourself into a thought, into a belief that is another one else. So you are essentially harming yourself. You're essentially bringing another one person, you're walking into another one person's shoes, but in the wrong way, because you are not doing your journey. So becoming aware of the fact that we need to celebrate who we are, with our differences, with our weaknesses, with our strengths, with our ideas, then I also started celebrating, as you brilliantly said, the fact that we are creators. Every one of us is a creator, and we are creator of our own life and success and fulfillment and happiness. So yes, we are architects in the sense that we can design it, but also when we simply design our own life, but we don't live it, then we are just halfway in our journey. So we need also to start making things. And my way to do things is doing something for helping others.
Interesting, interesting. And tell me about how you do for others.
Yes, what I do, what I started quite, let's say, after I had that lesson from my karate master, then he put me on the duty line, because he gave me the responsibility to teach to children.
Perfect. Yes, that's the way to deal with it. Absolutely. Yeah. Take the troublemakers and make them captain.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And so I went back to the gym, and he told me, from today on, you will be teaching to children from 5 years up to 14. so up to your age, and you need to teach them because you will be responsible. So I will consider you responsible for what they do, if they behave or not, if they learn or not. So from one day to the other, I started thinking and I started viewing myself as a person who needed to be an enabler. So a person who needs to unite other people up.
Wow. A person who, the last part cut out a little bit for me. Say again, the last part, the last sentence.
Yes, I became an enabler in a positive way. So I needed to ignite people up.
Yes. Oh, I needed to ignite people up. Yes, to ignite them. Yes. To me, I feel what you are saying there, this is a huge point. Huge. To be an enabler or an igniter or a facilitator, as I like to say also. Yes.
Yeah.
This to me is helping, not giving people stuff, not telling them what to do, but enabling them, facilitating them, igniting them, motivating them. Yes, this is real help. Because if you do it for them and you say, yeah, and you tell them, they don't really actually get the full benefit, right? Because they're copying what you say. They need to figure it out for themselves. They need to do it themselves. So the enabling part, the igniting part, this is the real deal. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and
big deal.
To me, it was at the beginning. I admit that it was a shock because coming from school, coming from my parents' education, I always was used to think that we were given something. So, okay, we were given our salvation, we were given our future, we were given this and that. And so so I thought, this is not how it happens, not for me. Because
Nope. Go ahead. Yeah,
so it was like, no, I can't give people anything because I'm lacking so many things. So what I can give is simply looking with them inside themselves, so that to find that sparkle.
Yes. Oh, I'm listening. Keep going. I just like, oh, there's a good, this.
Okay.
Oh no, that's important. Sorry, it's just my habit because I'm on Zoom all the time. It's like, man, yeah, that's it. That's a PowerPoint.
Okay.
So it was. You look with them inside themselves.
Yes. So I thought what's the way that I usually start when someone comes to me and says what I can do. I tell them, stop, start breathing, close your eyes, and instead of concentrating on what comes from the outside, concentrate on what comes from inside.
Yes. In other words, make space.
Yeah.
Right. All of that. When you go in that function, that focus, or what can I do? You close. But when you step back and say, I don't know what I can do, but let me just make space for things to come. Huge.
Yes.
Huge. 1 second. Let me just say hello to Karinda. She said hi. So Karinda says hi. So brilliant. Hello, Karinda. This is a huge deal, what you're saying. Huge deal.
Yeah.
So now you've mentioned 2 core points of helping, which is very different to the usual helping, right? Most people understand, and this is a big deal in group. You see it a lot with the posts where people are telling, and they think this is what they should do, right? They have a passion for helping, but their idea of what helping is somewhat constrained. It's very limited, right? They think you have to tell people and give advice. That's not helping. Giving advice is not helping people. No, share your truth if you have a truth, yes. But to tell people, no, you're just getting them to do what you do and live your life. They're not living their own lives, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You are saying, hey, I'm going to ignite you. I'm going to motivate you, or energize you, or like you said, you used another word, but in a good way. You're empowering, but not by telling them, right? By creating the space. So now you say, when they come to you and they want to know what to do, you make them aware that they have to create that space for the mourners to come. Yes?
Yeah. Yes. What I say, and this is the way I understood that idea, the image that I have is that is like when you start loving someone, you need to empty yourself so that the ocean of feelings and emotion can fill you up. Otherwise, you're not loving. So to me, it's like you cannot fill a cup that's filled up. So you need to wash whatever it's in it. You make it empty so that you can again fill it up. And looking inside us, it's like doing this process. You start looking inside yourself. You stop listening to all the background noise of the outer world. And then you start thinking, okay, here in this place that I call myself, there is actually so many space, because we have inside the same space of the universe, but we're not aware of that.
Yes. But we are not aware. We're not aware of our mourners. Yes. That's, we lose out by default. By default. It's a big deal.
In a certain way, it's like if in my, for how I've seen it, for how I've managed to understand it, it's like if we are made of atoms and we are made of energy. We are now in this physical form because by statistical happening, the atoms and the elements has combined so that they give us this body, this physical body. When we die, we are simply giving back to nature our atoms. And so to me, the idea is when we start having this individual body, it's like when the children start becoming aware of themselves and they start telling no to their parents. So we say no to our truest nature. We start telling no to our belonging to the universe, to our belonging to this energy. Yes. So we need to forget what we learned and then coming back to our origin. And our origin is simply feeling that we are the same of the universe, the same energy, the same thing.
Yes. Do you feel that individuals resist this connectivity to the universe because they're afraid of the false idea that they will lose their individuality when connecting to the universe or with the universe?
Yes. Yes, definitely. It's like that.
But I don't want to be one with the universe because then I'll lose my individuality. And this is a myth. This is a complete, absolute myth. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. This is something that, of course, happens because, you know, the process for many people is, I'm here, I'm investing so many time in understanding who I am.
Yes.
And they think that once they made the first step on an infinite ladder, they think that they did everything. So it's like, okay, I did this first the first step. It was so hard.
Yes.
And,
keep going, so, I'm just excited. Don't mind me. You keep going. Don't mind me. I just get excited.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, you know, we have in front of us an endless series of steps, and every step brings you more awareness, more a different state of knowledge, a different state of I don't want to use the word awakening, even if I believe into awakening, because
I
awakening,
don't care for that word either. Correct.
yeah,
Awareness, just awareness, just a new awareness. That's all.
yes, it's awareness. So it's like steps. So it's like when you make a journey, and you can say that every step that you make brings you to another point of view because you are moving. And so to me, it's like that.
Yes.
We are walking into this world of increasing awareness, and we, at every step we do, as we can get tired, I like to think that we need to drop some of our weight that we are carrying. So we need to carry on just the essentials. So we need to bring on which really serves us.
Yes. 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 Sorry, I'm not interrupting. I'm just agreeing.
No. I'm also thinking, because it's like so.
Well, let me add in there. Let me jump in there on that point, because you make a big point that you're saying on this journey into awareness, and it's ever increasing awareness, more becomes more and becomes even more, and it's just a magical festival of moreness. However, on this journey, you are saying it is imperative, it's important, it's necessary, it's vital, it's crucial, it is fundamental that we bring with us the minimum.
Yeah.
Because whatever we bring in the context of energy is baggage, and you need your energy to deal with the moreness. You don't have energy to have baggage dragging along with you. And right there, you are articulating impeccability, and why impeccability is so huge, right? As you know, it's my main program, Way of Impeccability. And impeccability at its core definition is best use of energy. Here's another reason why impeccability is so critical. Don't be wasting your energy on nonsense. Save it for the important stuff. Save it for the joy, the glory, the learning, the implementation, the application, the growing. Yes?
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I have a profound question for you. I'm going to rephrase something that I've noticed in question form. Would you say that when individuals come upon a new awareness, again, I don't want to use this word awakening because it's a flawed word and it's got a lot of baggage to it, right? As we said, keep it minimum. The word awakening has too much baggage. It's just a new awareness. It's a new understanding, yes, a new perspective, a new insight. So many different ways to look at this new awareness. When an individual comes to this, would you say it is an end or a start?
It's always a start.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to emphasize this. It is critical, because I see so many, when they come to a new awareness, a new understanding, they think it's an end, and now suddenly they sort of stop. And they don't realize it's just a beginning, and they get a little bit caught up in this idea that it's an end, and then they lose all of the magic, and they forget that actually it's a start. This new insight you've got, this new awareness, this new aha, this epiphany that you had, it's not an end, it's always a start. And when they realize this, boy, it changes the entirety. It's like, yeah, I was getting all celebrating and thinking I've learned it all and this is the end. No, it's not. But when we start to do this repeatedly, you're on a never-ending process of moreness, and it's just a magical ride. It never, ever gets old, but always it's a start of a new adventure. Yes? A new adventure in learning and a new adventure in awareness, which, of course, is an adventure in the usual sense of the word too, yes?
Yeah. Yes. I also think one thing. What you just said, let me think about another thing. What happens is that if we think at how our physical brain, because I do believe that we do have more than one brain. So we have.
Oh, we've got a whole bunch of them. Yep, like a dozen or something like that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
So when we use the brain that we have here in our head, it works in a peculiar way. And if we think that we have reached an end when we make the first step into awareness, this is because we have a false wiring into our rewarding part in our brain. So we are thinking and we are wired and we are conditioned, falsely conditioned into believing that as soon as you do something, you win all the prizes, all the knowledge, all the awareness.
Yes, yeah.
And this is because of our education. This is also because some religions simply say, okay, do that step and you're done, and you're done. And of course, this is not like that. The real way that we need to understand is that it's a journey. You cannot say that the first stop of your train is the terminal. That there is an endless railway. There is an endless series of steps that we need to walk. And I've got some people who ask me, but how can you avoid being tired by making continuously those steps? And I tell them, it's like, to me, at least personally, the universal language and the universal understanding is a word that is so over abused because it's so commercial in certain aspect, that is love. I say, when you feel love as a language, not as a just feeling. How can you say that you use just a word? How can you communicate if you just use one word? So the first step is one word. So in your new vocabulary, in your new language, you just learn the first letter or the first word. How can you say that you arrived? You need to learn at least dozens, hundreds of words before you're able to speak.
Exactly.
So for me, it's like that. For me, it's like learning a new language or learning a skill. They often say that I love photography, and there is a way to tell photography that the first 10,000 photos that you shoot are bad, and then you start taking photos. And to me, the journey is not like that. So it's not that the first 10,000 steps are worthless, because everyone is worth. But the idea is that it's, in my mind, I love doing the step that I'm doing, and I'm always thinking that the next one will be important. So I'm not looking 10 steps forward or 10 steps backwards. I only think the next one, because in my mind, I made myself a promise that every day when I go to sleep, I must be better than the day before.
Yes.
And sometimes people ask me, "Oh, you are addicted to improvement, to your improvement."
Yes.
But to me, it's not being addicted. It's like, does a flower or does an animal ask themselves why I'm growing? No, because it's natural. We are acquiring skills, we are growing, we are learning new things every day. So being better simply means living. If you say, no, I want to stay where I am, you are confined into a jail that you build up yourself.
Yeah. Very important. You don't want to build your own jail. It's critical.
Yeah. So it's like, you mean, even if I'm Italian, I'm quite interested in other cultures and whatever. And in the United States,
the Eiffel Tower behind you, yes.
Yes. And in the United States legal system, there is a key point in the Constitution that says that you are a free man until when you are not jailed. When you get into jail, in a certain way, you become property of the state that is re-educating you. It's a really harsh way to put it, but in a certain way, it's what some people are doing to themselves. So they are, when you stop growing, when you accept that you're blocked, you're also telling yourself that you gave your power, your life, your ability to live to something else, to someone else. So it's, to me, it's impossible being still. It's like water. Everything flows, and we are into that flow. We cannot simply say, okay, I get up from the flow. I stop the word that I want to get off. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yes. I have an interesting comment here for you and a question from Elizabeth Entrusted, magical Elizabeth. And she says, hi guys, I'm hearing immortality is only bearable if in love. Question, what is the difference between birthright and entitlement? And Bina says, yes, we need a positive obsession with learning and growing. Yes, Bina. Yes, but that's only for some of us, you know. Some of us are a bit hooked on that, but others, they do it in other ways. But yes, it's most useful. But Elizabeth asked a powerful question. What's the difference in birthright and entitlement? And she's saying immortality is only bearable if in love. Yes, and I would say there, just before Raffaello responds, that immortality is only bearable if in love. Yes, but as Raffaello's no doubt seen me do comment hundreds of times by now, probably, it needs to be love with awareness. This is absolutely essential, right? So it has to be love with awareness. And then, yes, it becomes bearable. Yes. And also then becomes a joy when you add love and awareness. Otherwise, immortality is a curse. Yes. All right. Yeah. So let's do to a very powerful point that she makes, and then a question. What's the difference between birthright and entitlement? It's a very interesting question. What do you say, Raffaello?
To me, there is not a birth or an entitlement in a common sense of these words we think that we think about, in the sense that, to me, birth is simply a change of state. Our energy has always existed, and we always exist. So when we are born, what does it mean? For me, it means that we are born in this physical form, in this time, in this place. So to me, as I said before, it's like a statistical function. So it's like, okay, our atoms, our energy decide that for 50, 60, 40, 80 years, all those atoms will stay together. And then they leave, and then they go. So there is no entitlement for me. We are entitled to feel this energy and to use it because we are made of the same energy of the universe. So we are universe. So the only entitlement that we have is that we are universe. We are not limited. We are not confined. So if we think that we are confined, that we are doing something against our true nature. And when we die, or when we come into this physical form, we are simply using one of the endless form that energy has.
Oh.
So that's for me.
Yeah. So would you say that in terms of when we come into this awareness, whatever we get, all of it, it's all a gift?
Yes, it's a gift, but in the idea of the gift also, there is a catch, at least to me, because a gift is like someone is giving you something. It's not a gift. you own
bonus,
all of those
bonus.
things.
Yeah.
You're simply removing the darkness that blocks your sight. So it's like awareness, it's like that. It's simply, I like to imagine like a lighthouse. So you have the lantern of the lighthouse that turns all around, and then you have a glimpse of what you have around you. And awareness is becoming, it's bringing to your, again, awareness, but to a state of knowledge and understanding that you have in that direction something. So it's not a gift. It has always been there. It's just up to us regaining consciousness of who we really are. So it's essentially like getting back a different form of energy that it's inside us, but we lost awareness of when we get this physical form.
Interesting. Yes, I was saying gift more like as in a bonus. You know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, in that case, yes.
With, you know, in this, that whatever we get when we come into this awareness, it's all bonus. It's all a gift, right? It's all not what we. There's no demand. There's no expectation. All this, everything is just bonus. It's up to you to use it as best. You weren't promised anything ever. So whatever you get is just free. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
which also implies you're not entitled to anything. Yes.
Yes. What I love in your definition of gift is that when you receive a gift, you usually give something back.
No, and that's not a gift. That's a contract. That's a different
thing. Yes, but it's different. If you feel obliged, it's a contract. But if you say, okay, as I receive, in my idea, we are complete. So if you receive something, it's the idea of the rucksack that we have of of what we bring. You gave me something for my journey, then I need to get rid of something, unless it is awareness of knowledge. So if you're giving me something, I need to make space in what I have with me. So it's like, let's say someone is giving you a Swiss Army knife, and you say, okay, as I need to make space to this Swiss Army knife, and then I give you some rope, I give you some scarf or shoes or whatever, because the balance that I can bring is the same. Only awareness, it's endless. So I love your idea of gift because it allows us to give back in a form that could be help, love, sharing, care, or attention. So for me, so that's why I say that I help other people, because I feel that I receive energy from other people. I receive something from them, so they help me. And then I give back in the sense that it's not a contract, but it's like, to me, it's like a mirror. It's like that. In my mind, in my soul, in my heart, a gift is something that it's like a ray of light that bounces on a sphere of glass, of mirror. Then everything bounces back. You give me energy, I give you back energy. So that's why I say that you give back, because you cannot alter the entropy, you cannot alter the energy that you have. You are made of so that's why we say that we are individuals in being all equal. Our bubble of energy, of individual energy in this form, in this body, needs to be balanced. So we cannot bring all things. We are not hoarder. So we are not hoarding gifts. So we need to share something.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. For me, I also like to look at ultimate sharing, or really like enhanced sharing is a nice way of saying it. And for me, enhanced sharing is something like collaboration. Because when I share, yes, mostly when we think of share, we think of dividing. Yes. Like if
Yes.
I share my food, I'm dividing my food. But when I collaborate in order to get food, I end up with more food than I would able to get on my own. And so do you. So in other words, when we collaborate, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. No, with collaboration, 1 + 1 equals more. And that doesn't matter
Absolutely.
how many go there. So collaboration is an awesome, awesome way to share. And to me, when we truly share, we always actually end up with more. It's not a division, it's a multiplication in true sharing, because true sharing is always a collaboration. And it's a massively, massively important thing. I want to just touch on this deal with birthright and entitlement. Um, at least as I see it. And to also add to what you were saying, I'm doing a bit of a repeat back of what you were saying. There is no entitlement to our birthright. Our birthright is simply moreness, awareness, opportunity, learning, growing. But it's up to you to seize that birthright. It's not like I've got rights that I've been given. This is a very particular idea, and especially in America, this is a big thing. You've got rights. Those are legal rights. They aren't universal rights. In the universe, you're not really promised anything. It's up to you to take advantage of what you're giving. So your birthright is opportunity. Choice. This is your birthright. Awareness. This is your birthright. But you're not entitled to anything whatsoever. You need to claim it. You need to earn it. You need to do it. You need to make the effort. It's up to you, And it has to be this way. If you are given things automatically, you aren't going to make that effort to learn it for yourself. And that's huge. That's huge. This is critically necessary, right? I want to ask you though, also, Raffaello, do you see it to be critically necessary that we learn for ourselves? If we don't learn from ourselves, then how is our awareness real? Right? It's not real.
Yes.
If I'm just getting things and it's in me and I'm getting it from elsewhere, and like we go to the master and and the master says, do this, and you do all of this. Whose life are you living? Yours or the master's? How real are you? You're just a carbon copy. You're just a clone of the master. You haven't created yourself. So you have to take what the master says, if that's your path, or anybody, or whatever you figure out, and make it your own. That's why there's no birthright, because then it's given to you and it cannot. The moment it's given to you, it devalues you, right? Because you haven't done it for yourself. You need to claim it yourself. Only then will you be real. So if there is a birthright, it is to claim for yourself the potentiality what's out there. Right? It cannot be given to you. It's counterproductive. It will contradict the whole point of everything, which is you being real, you being your most, you being awesome, you being the universe. You have to claim this for yourself. Yes, you got it all, but you got to claim it for yourself. Earn it. Yes. Yeah. I hope that helps, Elizabeth. Please share if that makes sense. Because, language and communication, as I so often say, is a haphazard business. Yes. So when we first hear things, we don't necessarily hear what's being said. Now, we might hear what's being said, but that doesn't necessarily mean we've heard what's meant, because we don't always say what we mean. We try to, but we don't always get it right. Yeah. So we have to persist a little bit here and go back and forward until we actually fully get that understanding. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. How wise is your point of view? I really appreciate that, and I think that we are on the same wavelength since the beginning of this group for those reasons. And what I'd like to share is that if I would say that I have some pillars above which I build my awareness and my being, are awareness, compassion, and commitment. And to me, awareness is inward based. So awareness is something that is related to how you deal with yourself and how you make yours all what happens. Then you have compassion. Compassion in its literal meaning. So it comes from Latin compatere, so suffering with, and it's outwards based. So with compassion, what you essentially do, you are putting out a rope to other beings, to other happening, and you share with them, as you said, the sum of your interaction is always larger than the sum of the single elements. So compassion is always something that increases the value. And when I say value, it's not an economical value, but the worthiness.
Yes.
So compassion is what allows us to become more worth of what we do, because we do things together.
Yes, yes. Compassion expands us.
Yes,
yes,
absolutely.
I'm pleased you bring compassion in, because I'd made a post, and then there were comments on the post, and compassion came into that in big time there. So I'm keen to hear Elizabeth. Please share on this, because Elizabeth was part of that discussion about compassion. Compassion to me is directly connected to awareness.
Yeah.
It is a function of sophisticated awareness. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very, very, very powerful thing. And I was connecting it to overview perspective. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. So this overview perspective is seeing the bigger picture, seeing the grand scheme of things, seeing things in a bigger context than our limited time context, right? To seeing the whole big show. And when we see it in that big, big picture, we realize that compassion is a part of our awareness, but we need more than only compassion in the entire big scheme. We need discernment, for instance, so that we don't get corrupted by compassion in its kind of little c compassion, right? When not capital C compassion, because that's so easy. In other words, a little c compassion could be what's so often labeled as empathy, for instance, or commiseration. Commiseration is a terrible thing. Usually all you are doing is you're entrenching and you're condoning and you're perpetuating the place that the person is in. You aren't helping them by commiserating. You just aggravating whatever they're in. So when compassion becomes commiseration, or any other of those forms where you actually now enabling somebody and you condoning their behavior, which isn't so helpful, then you're not helping, you're harming. So we have to be very, very, very careful when it comes to compassion and to helping, because so often helping makes things worse. We have to be very, very, very careful. Yeah. You have to be super cautious when it comes to helping. Just to illustrate this point, many of the NGOs, big charity organizations, right? Charity NGOs, at least, big, massive institutions that are doing, millions and $billions worth of aid and charity they're putting out. Almost all of those have had to go back and completely reevaluate what help means, because over time they've come to see the consequences and the effects of their help. And in many cases, it's just made things grossly worse. It didn't make it better. It made it worse. People committed suicide over this, left the industry, they were heartbroken. It was a really traumatic event for many people in the helping industry when they realized, oh my goodness, yeah, I thought I was doing good stuff and I just made it worse. It was very, very profoundly soul-searchingly traumatic. So we have to be very careful. We don't want to be like those people. They did it on a big scale, but this is an important point. So, they had all the compassion in the world, but they lacked overview perspective. They lacked discernment. They didn't see the big picture. Yeah. So we have to be very careful with help. An example came up just yesterday again. The example I typically use is in Somalia. The whole warlord situation there. That came about where they just, came and they put food down and they just dropped these big containers on the ground and said, here's the food. And well, help yourselves kind of a thing. We're doing good. People are starving. Well, of course, the gangsters came and they just took all the food for themselves, and then they started using it as power, and they had control. Now they gave them, they empowered us, so they created the whole situation. But also, you have to be very careful of unintended consequences, like during the Vietnam War, when the Americans were in Saigon, was the big rat problem. So, oh, how can we get rid of this? Oh, we'll pay a bounty for rat skins, right? Oh, this is great. This is a good idea. At least we're paying people to get rid of the rats. Well, what happened? They ended up with more rats. Can you guess why? Maybe you know the story. Well, of course, people started breeding rats in order to sell. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Helping is a tricky business. However, if we share and we put it out there, now it's up to the person to use what's being shared. It's up to them. It's free. You can take it or leave it. You can connect to it. You can get inside it. You can think it through, but it's up to you. You have to take this and make it work. It's not being given to you in that sense of the charity where you're getting something for nothing. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. It's a big deal. We are so keen to be compassionate and good and nice and helpful. But we can't let that override us and create a bubble that we get stuck in that bubble. Yes, we have to see the bigger picture. Very important, very important. Yes, Raffaello?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. And in fact, that's why compassion is it's something that is a sort of yes, it's like every as they say, from a great power come a great responsibility.
Exactly.
Because it's like
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Yes.
Yes, Spider-Man. So you need to be careful, because when you are granted a new step in awareness, you always need to consider that it's like, I was taught in this way, so it's how I learned that and how I made this idea into myself. You have an idea and there are other ideas. How can you make your choices? Because freedom comes from choice. If you remain at the level of the things that you're dealing with, you only have a limited point of view. So your horizon, it's really low. Then you need to step up, probably on a tree or on a mountain or whatever you want. But when you start getting that bird view from the top of what's happening, then you can balance what you do and what you offer, what there is around you. So you're also able to understand the implication of the things you do. An exercise that I do myself and I try to bring to the people that I work with is start thinking about, we have a pen. And with this pen, do you know how many people? So when I ask people, tell me the implication of a pen, and they say it has no implication. And then I say, okay, you need someone who sells you this pen. You have someone who makes the pen. You need energy to make the pen. You need materials to make the pen. So the implications are endless. And every time that
everything has,
we do something,
exactly.
So it's like, as you say, every time that you are helping someone, what you are doing essentially is creating a ripple effect. So you need to be really careful where you drop your water. Otherwise, you will create tsunami instead of giving something to drink.
That everything has consequence. It has a very profound spiritual implication, right? Now, in the Western world, we know this from the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word moved upon the face of the waters or the void. It's written twice, right? So either the void or the waters. But in the beginning was the Word. Now, it doesn't say what word. Now, before I continue on this is not a Western idea. This is around in the East, this idea too, right? It's been around forever. It's all around the world. But the essential underlying concept is that everything started from one word. Now, if we say instead of word, we say concept, it changes, right? Because a word is very limiting, a concept is more open. Take any concept and bring it into existence in isolation. You cannot do so, because the example I rather use instead of pen, I use chair. Okay, so you think of chair. And again, like I said, what are the implications or what are the inferences that you can make? Well, chair, a chair implies somebody sitting. Well, it implies somebody. It implies, well, you see wood, but that's not natural wood. Oh, it's processed wood. Ah, so this implies a saw, a factory, etc. So from one thing, you end up with an entire universe, because each thing connects to each other and they start to feed on top of each other. So it only takes one concept to create reality. One, just one. Any concept, because that's the thing. In the beginning was the word. They don't say what word, they just say the word. It makes no difference. It's why it doesn't say. Any word will do the trick, makes no difference. Yeah. So it's like you can think of this blank computer program. You only need to do is drop this one thing in and the computer fills in the rest, right? It just automatically does it. So everything is connected, which is very cool. This is a magical, magical way. Now, when we get onto this and we say, Raffaello, so somebody listening and they might say, wow, that's a big deal what you say. You say everything has implications. Everything has consequences. Everything I do, in other words, can potentially affect everything else in the world. Holy
Yes.
crap, Raffaello, you just scared the hell out of me now. It's like, how am I going to live? How am I going to live knowing that whatever I do can affect anybody and everybody? How do I know it won't? How do I? So now I'm stuck. I've got a problem. I got a big problem. How do I resolve this problem? I have an answer for this, but I'm keen to hear from you.
Well, my answer was, it has two faces of the same coin. On one face of the coin, we have choices. On the other one, we have commitment. Commitment is different from will. Will is simply telling, I want to do something, but you're not doing, potentially, you are not doing anything. So you're stuck within your will. Commitment means that you are creating the condition for that will to become an act, to become an action, to become something. Then it's choice. Choice is the other face. Choice is it's doing something instead of reacting. Choice is I can do something and I decide what to do, bearing with the consequences. So the way that I accept that whatever I do could have endless consequences comes from the fact that I am the bearer of the choice. I made the choice, because here comes a lot of philosophy, a lot of ideas, but to me the essential is, when I become aware that what I do, whatever I do, have a whole bunch of implication, complication, and change really the history, then we start telling ourselves, is what I'm going to do worth doing it or not? Because I'm not saying not doing it, but we need to be committed in what I do. So we need to trust that we are entitled, as we said, we are creators, we are architects. Yes, we are creators of the reality that unfolds following choices. Because if we silently accept what happens to us, then we are simply hiding in a corner, waiting for things to happen to us. But as we have this power, we need to be aware of every step and the freedom of knowing that we can choose by determining what we are going to do instead of passively accepting it.
Yes.
Then it's how we tolerate or bear all the weight of this knowledge and awareness.
Yes. So the key issue becomes, how do we choose? You've now made it very clear, it's all about choice. But the key issue becomes, because that person who's saying, yeah, but Raffaello, but so, okay, you're telling me I've got choice, but I don't want all this choice. This choice is responsibility. It's putting pressure on me. I'm scared I'd make the wrong choices. How do I avoid making the wrong choices?
Well, the way to I will put it in this way. On an abstract point of view, there are no right or wrong choices, because a choice is an act, is an action.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
exactly.
we need to keep out the moral and the ethics and the education and religion. We need to start thinking that our freedom to choose is until that point where our choices are creating harm to someone else. That's my guideline. So if I am conscious or aware that doing something will have a negative impact on anyone else's life or the direct person that I'm dealing with, then I cannot choose knowingly to harm someone.
Exactly.
When I've done that choice, that's for me is a right choice, in the sense that it's how I made my choice. So my commitment is not harming, not doing willingly something that will have ripple negative effects.
Yes.
My idea is I will start dropping because I cannot be still. Yes. But where my drop falls needs to be chosen by me. And of course, I will need to bear consequences. I cannot be stuck by responsibility. If I do that, I will not even breathe, because breathing, I could inhale something that kills me.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Somebody says, yes, but what about unintended consequences? So I say to you, Raffaello, all right. So now you make your choices and you make them knowing that it can go either way. Now, if you get to a point where you've made your choices in a particular way, if you made them in such a way that you are prepared to stand behind your choice, then whatever happens, you say, I did my best. Right? And for instance, if you've been really thorough and diligent and scrupulous in making your choice, and you've reviewed it, and you said, it's not any more I can do. I'm making my choice, and whatever way it turns out, I'm happy, and I'll stand behind it. Then you can be free with your choice. Then you can be free of doubts. And if things don't go the way you wanted them to go, you can be free of regrets as well. Because in essence, what I'm saying, you were impeccable when you made that choice. And this is the point of impeccability. Yes, you did the best use of your energy at the time. You did your homework, you did your research as much as time and circumstance and resources allow. You can't forever do this, of course. And you got to a point where your own inner conscience was clear and say, I can now make this decision. And that is how you can make decisions, not knowing how they're going to turn out, and make them with certainty and confidence. Yes?
Yes.
That's being impeccable.
And also,
so this is how we resolve this dilemma. Yes? This dilemma,
yes, absolutely.
of freedom. Yeah.
Absolutely. Impeccability is the key. And when I bring this idea of impeccability to my business activity, so when I make a consultant job, I say, as impeccability in business words, it's in the business world, it's not understood well. So I usually convert it. Yeah. So I usually convert it in efficacy and efficiency.
Yes.
Efficacy means that our choices need to have an effect, need to bring something.
Yes.
And efficient, we need to do that with the energy that we have. We cannot overdo.
Exactly.
So it's it's like telling what you said in a way that, let's say, people who are less aware or less apt to these thoughts can grasp.
Yes. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast for somebody who who's focused on the business world, and the topic is going to be how impeccability affects your bottom line. And like if I'm the executive, I'm thinking, what is this guy talking about? How does impeccability affect my bottom line? And I'm going to demonstrate to you how it does affect your bottom line. Very much so. Oh yeah. Very big deal. It's a very big point. Impeccability affects everything. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Impeccability is a huge point. You know, when you understand the core definition of impeccability, which is impeccability is best use of energy. Very simple. How do I best use my energy? Not necessarily right or accurate, but best. Your best use of energy doesn't mean you're going to be right all the time. Impeccability doesn't mean you're being right all the time. You can make impeccable mistakes, happens all the time. And they are glorious, usually I call them fortuitous mistakes. If you've been impeccable and things don't go the way you expected, it's the universe telling you, hey, you know what, it's yes, you need to jump tracks, right? Here's stuff that you need to be in a different space, time, place, different path, different direction. You couldn't see this for yourself. It was outside of your awareness. Your mistake is now bringing it into your awareness. You never would have gotten there otherwise. It's a gift. So sometimes this is a way to shift us into other ways of being. I see it all the time. It's a magical thing, but it only happens if you've been impeccable. If you haven't impeccable, you just get a smack from the universe. That's all.
Yes, absolutely. No, my grandma used to tell me something. She had a small poster with that phrase on, and she always repeated me that phrase because she told me, hey, Raffaello, you need to be sure that every time you do something good, you are able to bear with the negative consequences that it will bring you.
Yes, exactly. That's impeccability, which means you have to be scrupulous and diligent and thorough and conscientious before you make your decision, before you do. Once you do, be on your way free from doubts and worries because you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, your conscience is clear. When you do and you take decisions and you take actions with a clear conscience and your conscience is supported, it's not just that you want to believe that it's going to be okay. No, that there's some support behind it. Then you can be free on your way. So impeccability is a radically transformational way of living. It changes everything. It removes all those doubts and anxieties and fears and all the stuff. So yeah, it's a very, very big deal. That's why it's called way of impeccability. Yeah, it's not a belief system. It's a way of being that's based on duh. That's it. It's just a duh once you understand it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was on the poster from your grandma? You said there was a saying on the poster. What was written there? Raffaello?
Yes, there was this phrase written, and she had it on her right over the door of the kitchen.
Yeah, what was written? What was the phrase? Sorry.
It was an Italian phrase, and the phrase translated is before doing something good, be sure that you will bear the negative consequences you will get.
That was the phrase. Oh, you did mention it. Yes. So be prepared to take responsibility for the negative consequence. Correct.
Yes, because she said it could happen that shit comes out from a good thing. But the point is, if you did, as you said, if you were impeccable in your ideas before, then you are also ready to deal with that.
Yes.
The contrary, it's impossible. So if you are if you are ill-minded when you do something,
yes,
then you will be with consequences.
Yes. Fabulous, Raffaello. Fabulous. What an excellent point to end on. Can you just repeat it, please? Because it broke up a little bit and I wasn't sure if it's just for me or for everybody. So
yes,
will you just repeat that last
if you are ill-minded when you do something, then you will not be able to bear with the consequences.
Exactly. Your intent is everything.
Yeah.
Intent is everything. Yes. Pay attention to your intent. You can't get away with crappy intent. It comes back at you. Forget about it. You may get it in the short term, but in the long term, it always comes back to bite you. So yeah, intent is everything. And it's not just your intent that matters, but having clarity of intent. This is where way of impeccability starts. The very first session in module 1. Module 1, session 1 is clarity of intent. Know exactly what it is that you're doing and why. All right, we got to go. Anybody have any questions before we go? Type them real fast because Raffaello's got to go. But that doesn't matter. Make the question. Okay, so good always has negative consequences. No, Norma. No, not at all, not at all, not at all. It only will have it if it's misguided good, maybe, but still, we learn. And when it comes to learning, there's no good or bad. Everything is good. The worst thing in the world is good for something. The absolute worst thing. It's a good, bad example, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So the worst thing is a good, bad example. So when it comes to learning, there's no bad. It's only good. That's it. Because you learn from everything. So it's
Yes,
up to us
absolutely.
to get that. All right. So when people comment, we'll respond. Raffaello has to go, but please, anybody watching this on replay, you post and share and whatever, and we will respond. We always
absolutely.
respond.
Yes, and also feel free to
one last
write
quick
me or
before
to
you
send me
go,
messages.
Raffaello, put in the Zoom chat there, put a link to where people can connect to you, other than just messaging you if they want to know more about you and what you do. Give me a link.
Thank you very much.
This is one of the exceptions in group when we share links. Yeah, normally we don't allow links, but yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for this precious occasion that you gave me to talk with you directly and to the people here, to the people in this amazing group. So it has been really an amazing chat. I'm really grateful for that.
Pleasure. All right, so you can you can type your link in comments later because you got to go. So
okay.
Yeah, just put it in comments, a link to where we can connect to you if people want to know more. Otherwise, they can just DM you. They can just message you. All right.
Great. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Raffaello. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant.